Hello students, so we shall continue with the same chapter, Introduction to Psychology, and in the last class we started with the branches, the fields of psychology, okay, and the first one we dealt with was general psychology. Psychology talks about the basic fundamental principles of human behavior, okay, and it is about the attention, perception, decision making, problem solving, okay, emotions, feelings, okay. So the basic general things the human possess, okay. So the general psychology talks about that, and the next one we dealt with was developmental psychology, okay. So it deals with how people grow and change throughout their life, okay. Throughout their life, how the growth and change happens in a human being, and it starts from the prenatal stage, then it goes to the childhood, then adulthood, then adolescence, and then old age. So the development period, each development period from the prenatal, before birth, okay, before birth till death, okay, old age and death. So how development happens in each stage, so that's what it talks about. And then social psychology talks about how an individual becomes a member of social group, okay, how an individual interacts with the society, how the interaction process, okay, and the socialization process happens, and how he interacts with intergroup and intragroup, okay, among the different groups or among one group, how he interacts with the persons, okay. So that is called as that comes under social psychology. So now we shall move on to the next field, that is abnormal psychology. Okay, so abnormal psychology, it is a study of those persons whose behavior is strikingly different from that of normal persons. The abnormal persons exhibit certain symptoms like acute fear, uncomfortable ideas, lapses in memory, delusions and hallucinations, distortions in thinking, together with incoherent and irrelevant speech, unconventional behavior following the consumption of excess school, addiction to drugs can be studied here. The three major classifications of disease in abnormal psychology are, I will tell you about that. So here, abnormal psychology is something that shows the abnormal behavior of a person, where a person's behavior is very different or very strikingly different from the normal person. So as soon as you see a person, you can guess that he is abnormal by his behavior, the way he acts, okay. So the abnormal persons show certain kind of behavior, that those are, so they'll be very person who are very much scared, okay, those who have acute fear towards objects, okay, and they will have lack of memory and hallucination, and they can't think properly, okay, and they cannot speak irrelevant speak, unnecessary speaks or unnecessary talks, and unconventional behavior, and consumption of excess alcohol, drugs. So the person who has all these qualities are considered to be abnormal, and they're very different from normal persons, okay. So the three major classification are psychoneurosis, psychosis, and psychophysiological. Psychosis, psychoneurosis, and psychophysiological. So these are the categories under abnormal psychology. So psychoneurosis, it is also called as neurosis. This condition refers to the disorder where the person develops behavior pattern that do not help him to cope up with the problems. So here the person will have certain behavior, the abnormal behavior, where he is not able to cope up with the normal problems, everyday day-to-day life problems, okay. So he feels inadequate to deal with many everyday problems, okay. So the person here is abnormal and he is afraid to deal or cope up with the everyday day-to-day problems. Okay, for example, phobia is fear for something. Okay, so as soon as you see a dog, the person gets fear. The person is scared. Even though if the dog doesn't bark, even though if the dog doesn't bite. Okay, so the person immediately gets scared of the situation. Okay, and it might not happen. The dog maybe it is very quiet and he doesn't bite, but even though this person gets fear. Okay, so and the phobia especially is fear about height. It has different things. Okay, phobia, there are different kinds of phobia. Okay, and phobia is when you have fear towards something. So some people are scared of snakes, some people are scared of heights, some people are scared of water. So psychoneurosis is where the person, even if there is no problem, or even if there is no situation that they need to be scared, but as soon as they see that, as soon as they see snake, as soon as they see water, they get scared. Okay, so these people are called as psychoneurosis, where they have abnormal behavior of having acute fear towards something. Okay, having phobia. This is a condition where the person experiences excessive fears towards object in the absence of real danger. So as I already told you, there is no danger from them. Okay, so without any danger they get fear. So that is called as psychoneurosis. Sometimes these fears are out of proportion to the amount of danger that the situation can pose. So there won't be any danger from that kind of a situation, but they still react as if they are very scared. Okay. Okay. The second one is psychosis. This is a condition where there is serious impairment in mental functioning which interferes with the individual's capacity to cope with daily life. Reality is distorted that may take the form of delusions and hallucination, for example, schizophrenia. So psychosis is where the person is really impaired. Okay, there is serious impairment and in the mental functioning. They are mentally retarded, or there is some problem in their mental functioning, and which interferes the everyday individual's capacity to deal with everyday life. Okay, deal with the daily life. So since they have impairment, okay, and their mental functioning is not proper, okay, so they are interfere in their individual's capacity, ability to deal with daily life, and reality is distorted that may take form of delusions and hallucinations. So there won't be any danger, but they assume, they hallucinate, the delusion forms for them that it shows that there is a danger. Okay, so for these people, they always think that there is danger for them, someone is harming them. So especially they have given example of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is people who are always scared. Okay, they look very normal. Okay, so they look very normal, and they are very, when we see, they look very comfortable. Okay, but suddenly without any clue, without any instinct, they start acting weird. Okay, so it is like they feel that the other persons are harming them, they're coming to harm them. Okay, so that is what they hallucinate. So these are the people who are called as psychosis. Okay, so the next thing is psychophysiological disorder, psychosomatic. Okay, so these are physical illness where psychological factors play a major role. Psychological stress is a causative factor. For example, ulcer, asthma, migraine headaches, high blood pressure, and skin eruption are related to emotional stress. So here psychosomatic is where it is physical. Okay, it damages your body, and psychological factors play a major role. in this. And when you are very stressful, okay, stressful is where when you are fed up, okay, like when you are frustrated because of so much work, so much workload, okay, or so much of thinking, emotions, feelings, okay, so that is when you always will have headaches, okay. So when you are very much stressed about a situation, you will have headache and high blood pressure, BP, and skin eruptions, okay. So you will have skin problems. So these are about the psychological disorders, okay. So the next branch is animal psychology. It is the study of behavior of animals. Just as there has been an evolution of organic structure, there has also been an corresponding parallel evolution of mental process. It means that the mental process of animals are similar than those of man and should be easier to understand also. So here it tries to show that animal psychology is the study of behavior of animals, okay, and it shows the similarity between the mental process of animals and human beings, okay. In animal psychology, the fifth line, in animal psychology, an attempt is made to study the progressive changes that have taken place in the evolution of animals' behavior. So there is a continuous change, there is continuous evolution, okay, happened in the mental evolution of animal behavior, okay, the mental process of animal behavior, okay. So we shall see what are the comparative things, or what are the things we see in animals, okay. So I have written one. Some investigators have made a comparative study of animals and human behavior. Another reason for the interest in animal psychology is our capacity to control conditions and the conduct experiment on animals. So the investigators who investigated this matter, okay, between when they have made a comparative study between animal psychology and human behavior, so they come across an idea that we can control, we have the capacity of controlling, okay, control conditions, and the experiments were conducted on animals whether they can control situation or conditions, okay. So the second one is okay, in order to understand human behavior, animal behavior has to be understood. So there is similarity between humans and animals. So when you have to understand human behavior, you also have to understand animal behavior, okay. The similarity of structures between the two makes us infer that there is similarity in functions also. Studies on learning, reasoning, emotions, drives, localization of cerebral functions are made on the animals, and the theories and principles arrived at the applied of human beings. So all these things, reasoning, learning, emotions, drives, all these things are present both in animals and human beings, okay. So we shall stop here and we shall continue in the next class.